It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
I'm Alexandra Wyman.
And I'm Anna Gazzetti. And we are the Russian sisters.
Woot!
We are amazed that we got to 5 episodes, you guys.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Our initial planning was like, can we make it to 5?
Exactly. We were like, let's just plan out for 5 and see how that goes.
Oh my gosh, we have so many more coming your way. What?
I'm very excited about that.
Me too.
I think we were like, yes, this is kind of fun.
A little bit.
We're having fun.
We drink wine, we toast some people, and we share some crazy stories. What is not fun about that?
Exactly. We're hoping it's contagious. So stick around with us, and thank you for joining us for this episode. And we are available, as we said, everywhere you could get your podcast. Mm-hmm. So hop on and
leave us a 5-star review.
Leave us a 5-star review, which we found out we have some of those. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
For leaving your comments, for leaving your reviews, and for joining us.
Totally.
Do you know where it's 5 o'clock right now?
You're going to tell me.
I actually don't know.
Oh, okay.
So,
did we pick a place to just toast?
We're going to toast today?
Yes.
The people in Greece.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Is Greece all one time zone? I don't think so, but that's okay. Cheers.
They're 9 hours ahead, is what I read.
Cheers.
Wherever we are. So
it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It
Maybe
is.
Even in Greece.
And today we're toasting with a 2017 red wine from Prophecy Wines out of Modesto, California. So cheers.
Cheers. It's a good day for some wine.
Let's talk about things that have been going on this week.
Yeah.
Oh, but before we do that, I have an apology to make.
Oh, do you?
Yes, because a couple weeks ago, we were talking about my water bottle.
Oh, yes.
And you said
the Boob water bottle?
Pink. And I was like, no, I think it's, the Boob bottle.
The Boob bottle.
You said it's hot pink. And I was like, no, it's just bright pink. And it actually is hot pink.
Oh, so my color identification was spot on.
You were spot on.
Oh, well,
so I apologize.
Oh, well, no need for an apology.
Because I was like, no, it's not. I was very
Are we sisters or something?
Exactly. I was like, And you're like, And I was like,
Yeah.
And
I'm going to pull this car over.
Yeah. Do not make me pull this car over. That did happen to us like once, maybe twice in our lives, that our dad was actually mad enough to pull the car over and make us get out.
Well, we were being pretty awful.
Yeah. I cried. I was like, wait, what? This is actually happening?
Yeah.
And then we learned from that. So, whatever, sibling stories.
Did you get a new water bottle?
I didn't.
Oh.
No, I've still got the Boob bottle.
And I keep forgetting to go to Costco and get you a thermoflask.
Oh.
Thermoflask.
Well, next time you're there. I think they're toward the front now.
They were, yeah.
Yeah.
They're nice colored.
So if you think about it next time you go.
They're more neutral tones.
Yes. Blues and grays. It won't stand out. I'll most likely lose that more because it's not bright pink.
Should we get you some stickers? Isn't that the thing to do, is put stickers?
It is the thing to put stickers on. That
I'll just put
helpful.
a big sticker of my face on it.
I would love that. Oh, and this, we should make a sticker of the profile picture we made for this show.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. And then you won't lose it. Everyone will know it's yours.
Yeah.
Or how to find
your face and our faces on it. Why would I want to lose that?
That's funny.
Hey, another update. Tell me, because also a little while ago we were talking about the conditioner shampoo thing.
Yeah.
How's that going for you?
So far so good. I missed one day sometimes when you just kind of get into rote routines. That's funny, rote routines.
Rote routines.
Yeah. I went and did the shampoo first and was like, dag nabbit. And was like, I'm not going to go conditioner and then shampoo again and blah, blah, blah. So, so I actually like it. I mean, when I remember to do it, and I've been doing it now for a few days, and my hair, I've always had pretty soft hair, but now it's nice and soft and flowy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. In fact, when I went to the hairdresser, Jamie, our hairdresser,
hi Jamie,
whose birthday it was last week, we cheersed her birthday last week. It's coming up.
Yeah.
But she was like, your hair's so soft. And I was like, really? That's because I'm using conditioner first now. It's a thing. And she's like, yeah, actually it's like a thing now. So we are ahead of the times.
Yeah.
We knew before we knew. So awesome. I'm glad that that's working out for you.
Yeah.
Couple things.
Oh yeah.
That I learned.
And then I have another update.
Oh, you do?
I do. Can I do that real fast?
Yeah.
Yeah. So after last week, and we talked about the whole, oh my gosh, astrological charts changing.
Yes.
I looked up Pisces.
Oh, and?
Well,
Pisces?
it's a water sign. And I was like, shocking. It's a water sign. Going from a fire to a water sign. I think there were a couple things that I thought were kind of interesting. Hold on. Let me see if I can bring them up. But it didn't really ring true to me as much as The Aries does. Now, who knows if that could change? Although I will say strengths are compassionate, artistic, intuitive, gentle, wise, and musical. So the artistic and musical side, I'm not so sure.
Yes, you are.
Weaknesses are fearful, which I do feel like a deer in headlights these days. Oh my gosh. Overly trusting. I don't know about that. Sad. Desire to escape reality. Yeah. And can be a victim or a martyr. So Pisces like to be alone, sleep. They like music, romance, visual media, swimming, spiritual themes. And Pisces dislikes are know-it-all, being criticized, the past coming back to haunt, and cruelty of any kind.
Oh my gosh.
So there are some themes here that are interesting. But yeah, so stay tuned. I guess we'll find out what happens with these charts in the Pisces versus Aries. Would that make me a Pisces?
Aries.
Pisces.
Pisces.
And Ices.
Would I be an Aries? No. Oh my gosh, in our religion, that's not an amazing thing. But I don't let Alexandra fool you guys with the artistic and the musical thing, because she's very crafty, and I don't mean like in the crafty, wily way. Like, she has made some amazing ornaments for everybody over the years.
I can do that sometimes.
Freehands these drawings on these ornaments. She's super crafty.
Oh, thanks. Is this like the...
She's musical too. She does sing. So, and she's played the piano, so don't let her fool you.
No, I like this. Should we just keep going?
Yes. What, you want me to tell you more about you?
Yeah.
You're kind, compassionate.
No. Give me your Twitter updates.
You have all these amazing qualities. All right. So funny things I learned from Twitter this week.
Yes.
I just saw, and I haven't fact checked this, so I'm not 100% sure. But I did see a headline that said that Kim filed for divorce from Kanye.
For reals?
For reals. Like, it's happening.
What?
Finally. Like,
You know, what's really interesting is I was listening to a podcast that was talking about spirituality and people who get to a higher level for intuition. And it was brought up about Kanye and how, he like has this like higher level, like he's tried to transition from ego to this higher intuition. And I was like, I'm not sure. So then I'm like, well, when does it go from like higher intuition to kind of cray? But wow, so she's filed.
It sounds
How
like
many children do they have now? 2, 3? I feel like because she had, it doesn't matter.
I didn't read that on Twitter.
Poor kids.
I probably should have read the article, but I didn't. I just saw the headline. I'm like, I got to move on. Also huge this week was that NASA's Perseverance rover landed on Mars.
Yes.
Yes.
They had some live video of that. I missed it.
I missed it as well.
I thought the live video was like, I thought the video, I got this alert from one of my schools. It was like, hop on to see it live. And I was like, awesome. And then I missed that time. And then I happened to be talking to our brother, like, I don't know, 3 hours later. And he's like, no, it just landed. And I was like, So I have no idea. I don't know what the time span. I don't know if people are just watching like the whole process and then the actual landing. So
I don't know either, but that was pretty cool. Our niece was saying that she got to watch it from school. Kind of like made me think about cool. Those big moments when we were in elementary school and we stopped everything to watch whatever was happening.
Like the O.J. Simpson chase? You mean that? We stopped everything in school to watch that?
The Simpson chase during school.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I like to age myself, so hold on to that one.
Can you imagine if you're like in the middle of Spanish class and your teacher's like, hold on, there's this chase in LA going with this white Bronco.
I feel like it was language arts, but yeah, it was something like that. Yeah.
Arts. I don't know if that's better.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, but just typing like NASA's Perseverance rover like into my
so
set
cool.
notes, I was like, it reminded me that I can never spell perseverance.
Yeah, me neither.
I always throw in an
I'm not really big
R.
for autocorrect or like the Microsoft Word red line of error.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, for that one, I'm always like ants or ents.
Exactly. I want to put all E's and a couple extra R's.
I think it's ants, isn't it?
It is an A-N-C.
And it's not perseverance, it's perseverance.
Yeah. Well, and it's not perseverance like I always think it is. It's perseverance. Anyway. At time of this taping, it's National Love Your Pet Day. Yes. So get out and hug your pets, love your pets. Don't, as they say.
She's getting some love right now.
In The Truth About Cats and Dogs, you can love your pets, but don't love your pets. Mm-hmm. Also, our hearts go out to the folks in Texas. Lots of people are experiencing unimaginable things.
So crazy. Yeah, I know multiple people who are in Texas, and like one family in particular had to move into her mom lives near a hospital, so they were still able to get running water and electricity. And so that was so she was, luckily they were able to move into her mom's house to get some help. And then I have someone else who they're a little bit younger, and they were just like, oh well, maybe in a couple days we'll go to a family's house and take showers. And I mean, they're in their 20s, so I think it's a little different. They're hunkering down. But I will say, and I won't go into like full detail, but one of Sean's t-shirt quilts happened to come out for the freeze in Texas.
Oh.
Yeah, to keep them warm. So it was really sweet.
Oh, that is super sweet.
Yeah, but yeah, our hearts, prayers go out to everyone there. That's insane.
If you're wanting to help out, there are tons of ways to donate to relief funds. So not only the American Red Cross, there are tons of places where you can donate food to the food banks. There's an organization called Feeding Texas. Front Steps out of Austin is doing blanket drives. And of course you can donate hygiene products and clothes and everything else that people are going to be needing. So Google it.
I'll be honest. I'm kind of hoping that the weather clears up, because I won't say where, but there is a place in Texas that we are hoping to travel to. And I was like, I kind of hope not only that, the weather's okay and people are safe, but also there can be, pipes are bursting. People are, what I've heard is like icicles on their fans. People are burning their furniture to try and stay warm. It's just stuff that you kind of take a step back and go, really, in the US this happens? This is crazy.
Yeah, a lot of things from our everyday lives that we take for granted, and people are, you're right, having to burn like their babies' cribs and toys just to stay warm and sleeping in their cars. So it really is unimaginable. I just
gave away some baby toys. Maybe I should have sent them to Texas.
So we use the relief
no, for
sites. Send
do what you can if you
Texas,
can. Do what you can to help. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so that's it for what I learned on Twitter this week.
Nice.
Yeah. How's your week going?
Oh my goodness, it's been a week. But I wanted to start before I get into some of the more crummier, what I call Debbie Downer stuff, because I do want to address some things that I think a lot of people are aware of or hearing things. But first I have to say that my 19-month-old, that's right, 19-month-old taught me how to lock my car.
Awesome.
So we have, Sean got this fancy car a few months before he passed, and it has the handles that you can lock and unlock. So as long as the key is on you, you can lock and unlock the car. And I've always been able to figure out how to unlock it, but not fully lock it. So I just sit there and I'm like clamping the handle, like somewhere around here, I'll hit it, somewhere around here. And then it, like, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And then I'm like, oh, it must be the cold. I don't know. And so, yeah, little buddy was trying to reach up for his handle, because I've taught him, like, he walks out on his own, and I've taught him how to find which door is his and where his seat is. Huh?
He's very smart.
He is very smart. And so he leans up and he just pushes the little square on the handle, and it locked. And I went, huh.
How about that?
Shoot. It's been 6 months, but at least I figured it out now.
Better late than never.
Yeah. And I just said, some things to learn from my 19-month-old already. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was a little embarrassing. I won't lie. It was a little embarrassing.
But at least you know now.
I do.
And knowing is half the battle.
Oh, it is. Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah. So I think that was kind of, I got to shovel the driveway, which is always so much fun. It's what, things about home ownership, first world problems, is the things I don't like to do, or the things that now I have to do, like mowing the lawn, shoveling snow. But there is some satisfaction when you finish shoveling to be like, I just did that.
I did that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Look how nice it looks. I did that.
And unless the forecast says more snow is coming, my whole thing is when you do yard work and you weed, and then they all just come back. So as soon as you're done weeding, you have to start all over again. It's just right. Yeah. But with shoveling, it's like, but it's not supposed to snow for a few days, so I can enjoy my cleared driveway for a while.
Well, and true to Colorado fashion, it's supposed to snow again today after being 45 degrees and sunny this morning.
Yeah, I know. It's going to roll in soon.
Look out.
Yeah, but I have a shovel, and some very generous people have gotten me an early birthday gift of a snowblower. So that, yeah.
You're getting a snowblower?
I am getting a snowblower.
That is amazing.
Which is hilarious, because this was something that also came up between Sean and me, where I'd be like, babe, let's get a snowblower. No. Because the way our house faces, the snow usually melts pretty quickly. And so he'd always say, no, it'll melt. But then he'd be gone for work really early and I'd be up and shoveling. Like, wait a second. This works for you. I'm on to you.
Wily.
Yeah. So
well, that's cool. That's very exciting.
Yeah. What about for you? How was your week?
My week was pretty tame this week, mostly. We had some things as a whole unit to work through. So I think that consumed much of it, but it was actually mostly uneventful. Getting my second vaccine shot, so that's exciting.
I am so excited I hope you don't have the reaction that I did and just, smooth sailing.
I've prepped just in case, right?
You have.
Given a heads up to people.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah, and if you need soup, pho, what have you.
Pho sounds good.
It was it was comforting. It was comfort food for me when I had my reaction.
I had brownies at home.
Those are also comfort food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some things that happened this week. I was like,
might be helpful though, as your body is fighting off the vaccine or whatever scientific terms you want to use for that, might be helpful to just have something available with a little bit more nutrition.
Yeah. Instead of just sugar.
Yeah.
And chocolate.
Yeah. Minor details.
Tea, maybe. I do like tea.
Yeah. I did drink a lot of tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, luckily I have tea.
Do you have some shows lined up in case you need to binge watch anything?
Still making my way through Criminal Minds.
Oh my God.
And when I need to take a break from Criminal Minds, I've been watching the last season of Community. Which is really
that's
fun.
Right. Yeah. I'm finishing up Cougar Town, so that one's available to you.
Oh, good. Cougar Town. Fitting. Fitting in a couple ways. One, I feel like I've reached the age where I would be considered a cougar.
Totally.
And also, that's the mascot at the school where I work.
Is it really? I don't think I knew that.
We're the Cougars.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I feel like that might be some things lining up for you to watch Cougar Town over the next 24 hours.
One of our colors is green. It happens to be my favorite color. So it's just very fitting. I feel like I'm home.
It was a good job for you to take.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. I'm going to get to some of this crummy stuff just because I know a lot of our listeners happen to also be friends with us on Facebook. And for those of you who aren't, I'm going to give some backstory. And I will just put a disclaimer too. I can't share a lot of actual details just because the situation that I'm in right now is ongoing. But first, Sean took his life back in August. We are at the 6-month mark, which has been kind of hard, just hard in general, emotionally. I can't, as Anna has mentioned before, sometimes time is really slow. And then all of a sudden it's months later. So it's crazy to think about. And since Sean died, gosh, so I'll also say this is really hard for me to talk about just because I don't like to bring attention to negative things and I don't want to give these people notoriety. So just bear with me. I might tear up a little bit, and I've tried really hard to have all my sob sessions prior to this so that I can just say and address this. But since Sean died, I have had various people who have sent me what I would call hate messages. They have a lot of blame, a lot of anger, that I am the reason that Sean died. My marriage to him is the reason that he died. And there are multiple themes. These are different people who have some of the same themes in what they have been sending me. It's been very difficult, not only for me, but also for my family, because we're grieving the loss of a loved one. I instantly became a single mom, and then I've had this extra layer of these messages. And I can tell you that every time someone sends me one of these, they claim they're doing it out of love, and that their definition of love is definitely different than mine.
Seemingly so.
Yeah. And so it's been really hard for my family too, because I have also asked for people to not engage this group and to let them say what they need to say and to take other measures in order to be able to heal, which is insanely hard, right? When people are attacking a loved one. And it turns out a lot of these hate messages and feelings actually started well before Sean died. I have found that out. And it's also being done as an excuse of, well, we're grieving, so we get to tell you how we feel about you. Mm-hmm. So our brother wrote a really nice piece and posted it on Facebook, again, asking for some space. He did not call out these people directly. I will say that they know that it was directed at them. I do have confirmation of that. But again, this situation is ongoing, and I've had to take some measures just for the safety of Buddy and me. And because it's an ongoing situation, I don't really want to go into what all we've had to do. But I also told Anna, I said, well, we were talking about whether or not to bring this up. And I said, it has to be purposeful for me other than to just say this stuff is going on. So first I want to say thank you. Thank you to all of the support, the prayers, the checking in either with me or with my family members, the phone calls, just the love and support has been, I think, validating not only for me, but for my family in that what is happening is not okay. And I'll get into a little bit more of that, but just thank you for reaching out and please continue that support. Please continue the prayers. Even as hopefully this situation can be resolved, just continue for those prayers that this resolution can come sooner than later. I thought for sure it would have ended prior to this point, and it hasn't. And so that's been made very clear over the last week.
Yeah, we've really appreciated all the love and light. And I think when we share, or in one of the purposes in my sharing the most recent post by our brother, was just because in times of strife, there is so much strength in people banding together and sending out prayers and love and light. And because the actions that other people are taking can send someone into really dark spaces. And it's been great to know that there is so much support and love from you guys. And so that's invaluable to us.
This has been a pretty isolating experience. Just because I don't know that I have felt besides sharing with my family. Again, it's really hard for me to share such negative things publicly. I don't like talking about people in a disparaging manner. And so it's just been a very isolating situation. But the fact that our brother was able to stand up and say, someone's got to say something and I'm willing to do it. And he did it in a very eloquent manner, was huge. Cause I was like, at this point, I'm not even sure what I could say. And that's why I've been more silent, because I'm not sure for the individuals involved. I've said all that I've needed to, and I said it a while ago. So we're, part of this though, that I wanted to kind of transition to is that grief is awful. It just is. It's necessary. It's absolutely necessary. But it's awful. And I've got multiple therapists I work with, multiple support groups I work with. I journal a lot, and this isn't a bragging of how I got through my grief. These are all of the different strategies I use together. There's not just one. And I've tried to encourage everyone involved with the death of Sean, or who's been impacted in general by a death like this, or anything that can cause you to have grief. Find what works for you. If it's an exercise class, if it's a therapist, there are different types of therapists, there are different types of support groups. And sometimes you have to try certain things to figure out that's not for you. I was offered a chance to participate in a grief group, and I realized I didn't think the grief group would work for me because this type of grief, specifically dealing with suicide, is very different than grief from a disease or a tragic death, which is still very shocking. But when someone makes that decision, it's different. And so part of my thing has been like, it's awful, but it's necessary, and find what you need to do. With that, my little disclaimer is that it's no excuse for being awful to another human being.
Exactly.
It just isn't. If any of these individuals, they've made it clear, the level of hatred, I'll say it's hatred. And again, I'm finding out just how long it started. I don't know exactly when, but I'll say it started definitely well before Sean died. And, that's fine. I can't have everyone love me, even though it'd be really nice for everyone to like me. They're just not going to, and that's okay. However, to take out that kind of hatred in the manner that these individuals have is not okay. And then to do it under the guise of being about love or being under grief is not okay either. So, and the third thing I wanted to bring up is that, and that ties into how we treat people. This makes me giggle a little bit, only because again, there's a lot of disbelief that comes out of the situation. So I have had, so Sean put his suicide note publicly on Facebook.
He did.
And a lot of people, he, wrote in a way, a very loving paragraph to me.
He did.
And I've had several people involved in this situation who have quoted his suicide note to me.
Yes. Quoting it back to you, like
quoting it back to me
the first time.
Yes.
Or the second time or the 18th time.
Right. As a form of manipulation. Like, it's not, hey, we're thinking about you because of this. It's been more like, why aren't you recognizing what Sean wrote, and why aren't you doing what we want you to do based off of this? So I'm going to read it, not because, not to do the same thing that people are doing to me, but to give it context, and then just kind of explain a little bit, if that's okay. Real fast. So at the end of his note, he wrote, "Everyone else, please stop finding ways to divide each other. If you find a way to make someone else happy, you'll find true happiness within yourself." And so I've had this brought up to me several times, is that I am dividing a group of people who knew Sean for a very long time. And because I am not doing what they want, that I am not making them happy. And therefore, I'm not going to find happiness. And first of all, just to say, I find it pretty tacky. Like, I normally wouldn't say this, but I find it really tacky to quote someone's suicide note to the spouse. Just don't do that.
Please don't do that.
Just don't do that. It's just not appropriate. There are so many things that aren't appropriate, but that's one. Just don't do that. And additionally, what I want to say is Sean and I had a conversation. That's where I'm like, I was part of the conversation that started this. And we considered ourselves to be humanists. That's what I call it, humanists, where we look at we would have discussions about, if you take away all of our attributes or identifiers, our political affiliation, socioeconomic status, race, location, like your geography, the work you do, if you take that all away, we're human beings. And human beings deserve a level of respect. And that was where he was coming from, I believe. That, right? I can't say for sure because I was not with him when he wrote this. But that is what I believe was the point in this, was that if you can just treat people with kindness and like a human being, that's part of how you can find your happiness through that, by just treating people with respect. And so that's where I come back to this grief thing of, there is no excuse to not. Don't get me wrong. I've had my moments of getting frustrated with people, or, I will admit I've been rude with people before. When I say all of this, I say it to myself also. This isn't like me being preachy to other people. This is me saying it also to myself, that I have to remember that my grief is not a reason to treat other people poorly. So when individuals are saying that they are quoting this back to me because they're doing it out of love for Sean, out of love for me, out of love for my son, I go back to the conversations that we had.
For sure.
Yeah. So thank you for letting me kind of explain that and share that. As I said, I'm doing okay. Buddy is okay. We are currently safe and okay. I'm just having to deal with a situation I wasn't expecting to, and it's ongoing, but we'll figure it out. And thank you for the support.
I just need to give you so much love and props right now for even sharing your story. It takes so much courage to put yourself out there, to even share and be vulnerable about what's been going on. When we started this podcast, we knew that we were taking risks. We were putting ourselves out there. We were daring greatly and deciding to be vulnerable, to even go public and talk about our opinions or some of the things in which we consider that we have expertise. We wanted to have a platform to give a break from the everyday, right? We wanted to share our knowledge and educate people and to have fun while doing so, right?
Yeah, I did not expect that this would come up.
No, right? Like we knew that we were going to be talking about some serious topics here and there, but we didn't know the level of the seriousness or severity. And so we also knew that sometimes we do have a responsibility, since we have a platform to share and to help people grow. Mm-hmm. We want to use this space to give guidance, share resources, and also add light to your day. And so in the spirit in which this podcast was created, I think it's also important to hear the not so awesome things that happen in our daily lives. And so far we've been like, here's some funny anecdotes from the week. Sure. And here are the funny things I learned on Twitter and not so funny things. And also here's also real life. And these are
which is, and I'll be honest, like that's something I like to keep my personal life personal, my professional life professional. And this is something, you know, so many people have come out and have said like, you have a voice, please share. And that has been very encouraging. Yeah, it's not easy, but I'm grateful that we can talk about this and say this is, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this. I am sure there are some of you out there who have had to go through something similar.
Exactly. And I think that's another thing that we wanted to recognize is chances are some of you out there have also been on the receiving end of some grave unkindness, some meanness, some just ridiculous, misguided energy, or I don't know, people using their hardships as a reason to treat others with yuck. And if that's you, know that you aren't alone. You have us.
Totally.
Least, right? Like,
you can reach out. Definitely. Yeah, definitely reach out. You can always, okay. So we talked about this briefly. Is it PM or DM?
Oh, or IM. I don't know. It used to be IM.
It was.
Then maybe it was DM or PM.
Rickford. DM. Okay. So
direct message.
Yeah.
Direct message.
Because I thought PM was personal message me.
It was personal. And it used to be like,
but now it's
message.
Okay. So
DM.
Sorry for the tangent, but yes, DM us. Like it's hard to reach out, and I'll say that there are people who I told like, hey, just keep reaching out. A lot of you know, I'll say keep reaching out to me. I might not respond right away, but keep reaching out. And I have learned of women who've gone through the same thing I'm going through, not necessarily with this current situation, but with the loss of a loved one through suicide. And I have to make a point to reach out to them because I know where they are, and it's really hard to. So even if you make that first step and DM us and say like, hey, I'm going through some things, we can just check in. That's all it needs. And you don't ever have to necessarily respond. I have people where I just check in, say, I'm thinking about you, just as you guys have done for us. So
email. We're at therussiansisters@gmail.com. So you can always email us.
Apparently we have an email account.
We do. We're like getting more officialer.
Mm-hmm. On our officialer Gmail account, you can email. Absolutely. Anyway.
Just reach out. And if it's not to us, to somebody, know that you are not alone.
Yes.
Please. We learned pretty quickly after Sean's death, Alexandra was getting messages from other people who have lost loved ones either to suicide or in other ways. And they were sharing also their stories about how their family members or their friends had just treated them with unkindness. And I don't know if it's stigma. I don't know if it's
crazy things.
Using grief as the excuse. I don't know. We are making a request today that you just think before you speak. Think about what you're doing. Think about how you're treating the person that you're reaching out to, and know that that the spouse is in the most horrific stance, and it's not for everybody else to dictate or say what they should feel or how they should feel or any of the shoulds. Like, you should be acting this way or you should parent this way or whatever. It's none of your business. It's just not. And you need to
I left that part off. I don't mind saying another theme besides that I am to blame for Sean's death is that there is a group of people who believe that they would be better parents for Buddy than me. I'm going to stop for a second and let you all laugh or roll your eyes. Okay. Yeah.
Well, and
that's what we do too. Cause I'm like, what?
I know. Well, and whether or not they said things in a joking manner or believed they were just joking, that's such a buzz phrase for me. I was just joking. No, you weren't. Like there are people who will say that as an excuse to like, I was just trying to be funny. No, you said something really unkind and insensitive. Yeah. So just don't say it at all. Cause it's not
if you're,
funny.
Like Anna said, if you're on the receiving end, then there is help. And like I said, I have felt isolated, but have had to find the resources to help me kind of work through my own feelings about everything.
Yeah. And so we also felt that maybe it's helpful to share some of the places where we draw our strength from when these things have been happening this week. And again, like Alexandra said, this kind of came out of left field after so much time went by. We thought, oh, okay, we're okay. Now we can grieve. And then this other incident happened and we're like, gosh, darn it. So we had to like really dig into our circle of strength, if you will. There's a program out there for high schools and junior high called Sources of Strength. we had to dig into our sources of strength, which are actually these parts of the puzzle, right? So I think first of all, we lean on our faith, we lean on our beliefs. And I told Al, well, I wasn't talking to her, but we have talked about prayer. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
here.
We have.
Because I'll be like, oh my gosh, I learned this thing at Bible study. And she's like,
hilarious, you guys.
Oh, really? You're quoting this thing from the Bible. And I just listened to this Justin Timberlake song and his lyrics told me this. And so that's
this is what Anna does. This is hilarious because, in trying to figure out, sometimes it's not always appropriate to have the last word or tell someone. Like sometimes you just have to walk away and be quiet. And so she's like, yeah, I draw strength from the Bible. And I was like, that's awesome. I draw strength from JT.
Right. So, I'm like, mine is JC and hers is JT. It's really comical and it's a fun thing we share between the two of us. I'll be like, oh my God, at Bible study, I opened it. True story this week, right? Out of all things, the book that we're studying, I opened it up and I was like, oh my gosh, we're reading about life afflictions. And then the next section was about death.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And so I'm texting her, during Bible study, sorry, Dad. But I'm texting her, I'm like, you would not believe, like, I just turned the page and we just had this strife and this affliction and here's some quotes and some guidance to get us through. And then she's, she texted back some JT lyrics to me. It was very fun for us. Also, you guys, another fun coincidence, and I like to tell Al there are no coincidences, but
she does like to tell me that, and then
this happened this week. So when this thing happened, I'm like, you are not alone. You have this legion.
What'd you say? Legion?
Not a legion.
I don't have lesions, people. I promise. I have the vaccine. I'm okay.
You have a legion of angels surrounding you, right? Like, don't forget that. When,
it is hard to
feel like you're alone, you've got an army of people who are here to support you. And so I was like, just imagine like this legion of angels, like surrounding all these people who are doing really not awesome things. And they're just surrounding them, like encircling them, and know that like all your loved ones and all your people are here to like shine light on you right now. And then what did you say?
Like for what I visualize?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so I didn't realize you were going to put me on the spot on that one.
Yes.
No, I did. So I said, I imagine that these people are surrounded, and on the opposite side of of them are angels who are blowing. And I said the imagery that came to me was some like blue mist that was bringing calm and peace.
Exactly. Okay. Yes. So then, as we mentioned before, she and I are reading this book. And so we get together once a week.
Super attractor.
Super attractor. We get together once a week and like we read a chapter and then we talk about it. And so after all this stuff happened, after the visualization happened, I go to read the chapter for this week and I open it up and it's all about angels, y'all. Like,
not only is it about angels, but it talks about, it goes through like various archangels. I know you guys just bear with us for a second, but one of them was, I think it was Gabriel.
Michael.
Is it Michael?
Because he's like the warrior.
Yeah. Sorry. Archangel Michael. And they said the color associated with him was blue. And she tells me this and I was like, oh, wow.
Like, this is just crazy, right? So we're like, all right, this really awesome thing happened.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, this army of angels is surrounding you. And then she's like, yes, I imagine that there's this like blue light. And then we go to read this book and part of it's about like calling on our angels or our saints or our loved ones who have passed on and our guardian angels and lots of people who we know we can call on to help us through.
And people here. I mean, that's what's been so great is that, just the support has been amazing. And it's not that I didn't know that support could be there. And I recently had someone where I said, sometimes it's hard in certain ways. I will ask for help. I've asked for meals. I've asked for people to come help. I call on my friends' husbands to help me with stuff around the house that I need to learn. So I'm like, can you come show me?
And they're awesome for coming and helping.
They are. And I was like, but sometimes it is hard. Like, I don't want to be a burden, right? This is something that comes up is I don't want to be a burden to other people as I'm trying to figure this out. And a good friend, she looked at me and she said, do you mind if I show you, like, just mention a different perspective? And I said, oh, okay. And she goes, people just need to know how to help you. Everyone, like, they want to help you. They just don't know how. And when you can give them a way to help you, that, you know, it helps them, it helps me. And so just calling on those people.
Heck yeah. And that's my second category is friends, family, and each other, like leaning on each other.
I'm really good at segues.
We decided to start a podcast. But we reach out, we ask for prayers. We ask you guys to help us out and send up love and light and prayers, or, you know, and you've been amazing with sending messages and encouraging messages and, like virtual hugs, since we can't actually hug each other right now. So that's been super.
I've had several people have been like, I just wish I could give you a hug, which is, you know, very sweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we share our stories. I think that's been also really helpful in moving through this process, is you have a story to tell and other people can relate, or they have their own stories. And
I hope so. That's
also
weird.
Healing.
Yeah. It's out of my comfort zone. So thank you guys for letting us share today.
Yeah. And it's been helpful that we've had resources like therapy. Alexandra's talked about the different types of therapy. I as well. A lot of us have really dug into just talking to an outside party and like, you know, who oftentimes will validate that I just feel like this is really weird what's going on. And that person, right, can help us walk through what's going on at any stage of grief that we're experiencing.
And I mean, that was something, I mean, obviously, in a way, Sean was that person for me. And so now I've had to look for other people, but that was my whole thing of how appropriate is my reaction right now.
Right.
Right. Cause these kinds of situations can, and I've had to have that talk with a few people this week of like, here's worst case scenario. This is what I'm thinking. This is not what I think will be reality, but I do feel like I need to be prepared, or how, you know, how crazy am I sounding right now? It's kind of how it comes back to.
Yeah, definitely.
And then to have other people outside of the situation go, okay, here are some things to think about. And that has really helped ground. Like my whole point is like, how do I stay grounded throughout this? And
absolutely. Yeah. And I feel like that's been really critical.
Oh, totally.
For us working through this, the support groups. And then people have been awesome in sending articles or links to articles and poems and stories. And so again, it's awesome in a weird way to know that, that we're not alone. Cause again, as you mentioned, it can be super isolating.
Very much
like,
so.
What the heck am I the only person experiencing this? Why am I being targeted?
And I think because other people feel just as isolated, they don't talk about it.
Right.
And so again, like this is out of my comfort zone to do, but if this brings someone comfort, or they can just go, oh wait, like I don't mind if people go, oh, that's worse than I experienced. Like that's okay, because it's been pretty bad. But if there's a chance to connect with people who go, oh wait, I went through that. Or, I mean, that's how I started actually a support group through that, by being like, I think there's a need here, and maybe we can get together and support each other, and it's worked out. But yes, exactly. You're right. Yeah.
And you've been an amazing resource for people.
Thanks. I don't feel like that, but thank you.
You are.
Yeah. Thanks.
Other things that we've been leaning on are exercise. True. Right? Just getting on the treadmill, or when we can get outside and enjoy the sun, get some vitamin D or some fresh air. Like when the really stressful things happen, I just need to go take a walk. I need to breathe in some fresh air. So that's
absolutely.
And then, lastly on my list is humor. Yes. I feel like I feel like that's leading into something that we do every week. Sometimes we're like, is it too soon? Like, can we joke about this? Yeah. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, you have to.
But in my job, like for the years and years and years that I've been working with kids and hearing stories and doing what I do, I often rely on dark humor, which not everyone can relate to. Not everyone finds things like that, like the jokes that we've
sometimes
made over the years funny.
Yeah, how you get through.
But it is how we cope, and I think it's been a great coping strategy for us. And I don't know if you've picked up that throughout this podcast, I've been squeezing in like
you have a few moments. Yeah.
Did you hear the
The what? The moo-moos?
Mew-mew.
I did not hear the moo-moos.
Movie quotes. Movie quotes.
Yeah, you did put in some movie quotes.
Mew-mew?
The mew-mew quotes that I don't like to wear moo-moos, but is that they're called?
I don't know
moo-moos?
if I've ever worn a moo-moo.
Is that what they're called?
It's not a mew-mew, but I think it's a moo-moo.
A moo-moo?
I've never worn one either.
I haven't either. They look comfy, but also Mimi-ish.
Oh, remember that? Mimi. I feel like, yeah,
Moo-moos
used to wear moo-moos.
Mimi-ish. Mm-hmm. That's hilarious. You have been weaving those. I know I failed on the movie quotes today, but you've done a stellar job of weaving those in.
But think about it. Like, are there some movie quotes that you like to recite throughout your days, or that you sprinkle into conversations with people?
Oh, well, I think I found that when I do, it goes over the heads of the individuals because I work with children, or sometimes they don't catch it. And I'm like,
you're like, you didn't see that movie? Dang it.
You know, like if I'm struggling to get my coat on, which happens quite frequently because for some reason my coat gets caught on my watch and then I'm like flailing a little bit and then I go to the like, fat guy in a little coat and no one picks up on it. They don't.
What?
It's before a lot of people's times. I'm
That's
aging
really
myself
sad.
again.
Although I also like quote Tommy Boy frequently too, whether it's throwing out a niner or, oh, we do that. I'm like, wow, that really smarted. You're like, if I walk into something and that really hurts, not so much here or here, but right here.
It's a good movie. If you haven't seen Tommy Boy, go check it out.
Oh, yeah.
It's a classic.
I'm probably going to date myself with these quotes too, but
I know. Oh yeah, totally.
I always say like, brothers don't shake hands. Brothers gotta hug.
Yeah.
Anything from Anchorman?
I'd say on a daily, not maybe not on a daily basis, but on a weekly basis, you are teaching my son to say, "Mom, meatloaf," and he does. He goes, "Mom, Mimo."
I am not ashamed of that either. Ma.
That's Wedding Crashers, just so you guys know.
Yeah, he likes to watch us cook dinner sometimes. Well, actually, all the time he likes to be involved in dinner.
He does.
And so my hope is that even when I'm not here, he's like standing in his little stand while Alexander's
He did
Hayya.
He did Hayya like over and over again last night.
I taught him how to I taught him how to throw things off the counter and Hayya them. Hayya.
Yeah, which is really awesome when she left because I was like, no, please don't throw that canister.
Hayya. And then there's a big mess and I'm like, Auntie's got to go. See you later.
Yeah.
Yeah. My hope is that when I'm not here, he's watching you make dinner and he's like, Ma, meatloaf.
He did it the other day getting into the car. He was like, Mimo. And I was like, oh, yeah, thanks for that meatloaf. I'll get you some. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for all that will be. Negative ghostwriter. I feel like that's just like always.
Yeah.
Can you do this negative ghostwriter?
So Sean had his little profile on Prime, and the other day I was like, okay, let me go see what he had on there. And there were two things, and the one that made me chuckle the most was Top Gun, because we used to talk about that all the time.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have.
That's right. Ice Man. Sorry, I just had to squeeze that one in there.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Pacifier.
Oh my gosh.
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel is fantastic in that.
But when the older daughter is driving the van for the first time, and then the younger sister, like they arrive at school, and she gets out of the van and she falls on the ground. She's like, "Land!"
Oh, do that all the time.
One of my favorite scenes ever. So
especially if we're like doing some sort of family event, like when we had to do zoo lights, and we were on a time constraint trying to get to the zoo, and it's like, hurry up and get there, and then we park, and it's like, land. Yeah. Anywho,
anything from Anchorman?
All the time. Scotch. Down into my belly.
And then Stay Classy. And we have shirts.
I love Lamp. Hello.
I love Lamp in here too. I'm kind of a big deal. Stay Classy. We have shirts that with his face on it. Christmas shirts from a 5K we did.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
That getting outside. That say Stay Classy. Then there are like sad ones from college years. Like, You're My Touchstone, Emma, that I say all the time from Terms of Endearment, or Way to Go, Paula, from Officer and a Gentleman. Daddy, it's time.
I like to quote Office Space, too. That's a good one.
Oh, that is a good one.
Yeah. That one's pretty old because it's, I think, still from the 90s.
One of my all-time favorites is from Liar Liar. And we used to do this with Shanti all the time.
And there's a reason... Like one of the colors for our wedding was a blue, and it was a specific blue.
What kind of blue was it?
Royal blue. I know. People are gonna probably roll their eyes, be like, "What are they doing in this?" That's actually how we came up with what color to do, because we were joking about Liar Liar, and that color came up, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, should we have royal blue be in our wedding?" And he thought it was the funniest thing. Like, yeah, so it just became a big thing.
Yeah. Hey, Sean, can you get me a pen? This pen is royal blue. Yes. Yeah. So always a big favorite. Hey, speaking of Shanti Wyman, let's do the Shanti Wyman joke of the day.
Thanks you guys for tuning in today. It means a lot. I mean that. It means a lot just because of everything that's been going on. So thank you for tuning in.
We sometimes think we're just talking to each other, but we imagine all of you sitting around the table with us.
Yeah, having a glass of wine. Prophecy.
Ooh, yes, prophecy.
All right, what do you got?
Tasty. Today, the STW joke of the day. Do cow mothers like coffee?
Okay. I don't know. Do they?
Yes, but they prefer decaf. You're welcome.
I'm like thinking it's going to be a latte or something to do with milk. It's decaf.
Decaf.
That's hilarious. The affirmator for today. Good things to come.
Oh, amen.
There are so many amazing gifts coming my way. I can't see them now because I respect the general convention of not peeking under wrapping paper, but they will show up when the time is just right, and that's when I'll remember how much fun it is to be surprised.
I love
it's gonna
that one
make
so
me
much.
tear up, but that's a good one.
Good things to come.
Yep.
Love it. And we love you guys. Thank you
guys are
again
amazing.
for listening.
Thank you.
Remember that we are everywhere you get your podcast.
5-star review if you can. All right, we'll take a 4, but we prefer 5.
We like 5 stars.
Yeah.
And comment if there are any topics you'd like us to address. Go ahead and do that. And don't forget, like, refer your friends. If you've heard something today that might resonates with you, and you're like, oh, so-and-so needs to hear this message, pass us along.
Yeah. And feel free to reach out to us directly if you need some support.
Yeah. DM us or email us at therussiansisters@gmail.com.
That's
we love
right.
you guys. Hope you have a great week.
All right. Bye.
Bye.